Right, we are on. Hi guys, welcome to Aftermath. We're starting. That's what we mean by start, Tom. He has no idea what we're talking about. Welcome to Aftermath, fellas. It is Wednesday, April 27th. We are here today about to clean up the mess that Pastor Scott usually makes, but today he's not here, so there's no mess to clean up.
No mess.
No mess, no mess, no mess. And we have Tom Cressman, who's a scientist. He is our Bill Nye the Science Guy. I don't think he likes that reference. I'm sorry, Tom, but I do, and so we're going with it right now, since I'm the host. And I'm here with Ex-Sergeant Christopher Wokel. So we've been boogieing through how not to read the Bible. Today we're a little off of the chapters. We're not covering a chapter, but we are very much on topic.
The last couple of weeks we spoke about Genesis 1 and 2 and New Earth and Old Earth and how to enter into conversations with folks about those topics.
Yeah.
And since we know a scientist,
Yes.
we asked Tom to come in and talk to us about some of the science of creation.
Yeah. And he took a 11-week course?
Yeah, he taught 11 weeks.
11-week, and he condensed it down into 45 minutes, and we're going to reduce it again into
3.
6, which really isn't 6. It's usually 9 or 10, as you guys well know, but nonetheless, and that's because of our preamble. So, Tom, Chris is going to jump in because he has a shirt that says he knows stuff. So when he's going to jump in where we're going along here, but I guess we'll start out with a kind of an easy question. Do the laws of nature eliminate the need for God?
Well, I think certainly that's a common view. We think I guess the myth is that because we've explained things with the laws of nature, we've explained things away, and that's actually not the case. The laws of nature point to God. In fact, the correspondence between these, talked about this cosmic resonance, where you have this abstract world of mathematics, you have this concrete world of the physical universe, and then you have this mental world in our minds, and there's a strong correspondence between this abstract world and the concrete world, and between the concrete world and our mental world, and how do you explain that? The only real explanation is the biblical worldview, which is that God created all things, He's supremely rational, He's good, He created us in His image, and so we can therefore think some of the thoughts of God. And so the laws of nature actually point to God. Their mere existence points to a supreme ruler. And that's what the Bible says. It says that the nature obeys His command. He spoke and it came to be.
Which is awesome from my perspective. I often try to imagine our world without laws of nature, without God the Creator creating order. I mean, if we're all random products of some random process, one day gravity might work, the next gravity may not, right? I mean, that's kind of
exactly. How do you know your garage isn't going to collapse when you drive into it because the laws of nature change?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I find great comfort in knowing that God created everything.
Yeah, and it's really cool. We've been talking the last couple of days about the book, Evidence That Deserves a Verdict. Did I say that correctly? Demands a Verdict. And, I know in there, you can show me the book. So, and in there they talk a lot about the odds of the randomness of how this could happen randomly. You run through some of that a little bit with us.
Yeah, you gave us some numbers that were beyond astronomically large.
Yeah. Well, you look at how do you discern design, and we talked about this whole idea of functional coherence, and that this particular item has a purpose, but it consists of subsystems and parts, and those parts have a purpose of supporting that overall purpose, and they all have to fit together. So
and your example was a tractor engine.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So all these features have a purpose, and they all support the overall purpose of the engine, which is to provide torque to the tractor. And so that requires design. It requires intelligence. And not only that, you have the design, you have all the systems that thing has to be made. So you have to have factories, you have to have materials come together, you have to have fabrication equipment, you have to be able to make these parts and assemble it. So it's not just the design, it's this whole process and so forth that's supporting it that causes it to come about.
Yeah, and I was really fascinated. I'd never seen it before. I was never much of a science guy growing up, but of the engine that you showed in the human body,
in the cell.
in the cell, which blew me away. And just like a tractor engine, one missing part negates all of it.
That's right.
It doesn't work. And how that engine in the human cell, which acts very much, has some of the similar parts to an engine or to a motor, really was fascinating.
Was it a Magella? Was that?
It was a flagella. So the
Flagella.
flagella is the outboard motor that powers bacterium in your body. So and it has a
Crazy
little engine,
fact.
and it's an amazing engine, extremely efficient.
Yeah.
Rotates very high speeds, and that thing shows this functional coherence. So and it all has to come together at the same time. And so in the cell are all these systems that make the proteins, which are the machinery of the parts and machines of the cell, and they all have to come together at the right place at the right time to form this flagella.
Yeah.
And did you give the probability of that happening randomly? What was
Yeah,
that?
so what we did is we looked at DNA, the information to make all those proteins and to make this thing and all that stuff is encoded in DNA. DNA is the properties of language. It has letters, it has words. Those words have to be in the right order, so think of that as grammar. And so we looked at, okay, well, what's the probability this could happen by chance? And we just looked at, could have come about by chance. We looked at an example of half a page of random keystrokes on a page. What are the chances of that happening, that those would all be English words? And the chances are so astronomically low that it would require, for it to happen, for it to be probable, require an unimaginable number of universes for it to actually come about. So that just points to a designer.
Yeah.
And because of design, that means there is a designer, and it also means that we have a purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's wrap up with one last question, and that is a little bit about faith and science. I think that's a fascinating thought, that scientists have faith. I mean, it's kind of something that you had touched upon at one point. So what do you? How does faith and science come together?
Well, so the practice of science requires the adoption of certain assumptions. The assumptions that the world is rational, that it is objective, and that we have the ability to understand. Those are all assumptions you have to make before you proceed with science. And to adopt those assumptions, you adopt them by faith, right?
Yeah.
I accept these as facts, and then you proceed from there. So so faith is necessary for the practice of science. But faith is also required, so scientists also rely on the authorities of others. That requires faith in other people. And by the way, there's also the faith of personal relationships. They have to exercise faith they have to believe in their spouses and their children. It's the belief of personal relationships.
Yeah.
And so that's the exact kind of faith that we have to have in Jesus Christ. We have faith in a person. It's the belief of personal relationship. Scientists do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
It's so awesome. Today was a great day, guys. You can see the video on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We recorded it. It's out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Today was an awesome day. Thanks again, Tom.
Yeah,
for coming.
thanks.
It was
Tom,
my pleasure.
very much.
It was really, really a pleasure.
Yeah, I think it was illuminating. It was awesome. I thought it was great. Fellas, thanks again for listening, for watching. Go to gracecma.org. If you go to the Grace Men's Facebook page, you'll see this video. If you go to YouTube and search Grace Men's Live, you can find this video, the video from today's with Tom, and then others as well. There's the Pressing On podcast. Next, a week from Saturday, May 7th, at Beulah Beach is the men's retreat. There's still time to sign up for that. So lots of opportunities. Please take advantage of them. And again, thank you very much, guys. Thanks, fellas.
Take care.
Bye.